Hi there, what you're about to see is a seminar that I did a little while back about infrared heat and other heat sources. So by watching this video, you will learn more things than you can imagine about infrared heat as well as other heat sources. If you want to save money, if you want to be healthy, and if you want the safest form of heat there is, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. My name is Jeff Peiffer. I own Heat for Less, one of the oldest infrared heater companies in the country. I started in 2008, and as far as I know, I am the oldest infrared heater company in the country. So in order for my heater to be the best, it needed to make the most heat, it needed to be safe, and it needed to be built strong. Most infrared heaters today are simply disposable. People pay $99 for a heater and then they throw it away. Mine is the last one you'll ever need because it's built out of aluminum and a high temperature plastic, so they'll last for a lifetime. If something goes wrong with your heater and it stops working, we actually have a troubleshooting area you can go to. You can determine what part needs to be replaced and you simply replace it. I made mine the easiest to service. All of my components are plug and play. So let's say 7 to 10 years from now one of your heating elements blows out. All you need to do is a couple screws, take each side off. You slide the old heating element out, slide the new one in, and you just plug it in. So it's very easy to replace any component within my heater. But the most important thing is that it makes the most heat because it's a heater. So what I'd like to do with this demonstration today is compare mine with this is Eden Pure. It's called Copper Smart. Now you may have heard of copper heat exchangers or copper helps make more heat. Well, that is all false advertising. Copper does not produce heat. Copper holds heat, but you're not trying to heat the copper, you're trying to heat your room. So what I've done is I've taken some infrared heaters, taken the copper completely out, and it makes the exact same amount of heat. It does not make more heat because there's copper. Copper does not make heat. What I like to do here is we test how much heat Eden Pure is producing and then how much mine is producing. This is a laser gun. You can buy them at a hardware store and it tells you what the temperature is. So what we'll do is we will put it in here. And a volunteer, Sherry, is that your name?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see from there how much that is by any chance?
148.
148, 150. I'm trying to find the hottest spot. During my seminar, I asked volunteers to come forward to put their hands in front of the heaters to feel the temperature coming out. I have someone in the audience time them to see how long they can hold their hand there. And every time it's not even close, that they can hold their hand there much longer at the competitors than they can with mine because of the heat coming out of my heater is so much hotter. We have a volunteer, Sherry. Come on up. Now, I want you to hold it there as long as you can. Stopwatch, there we go. And and put it in the middle and touch it just like that. There you go, okay? And just hold it there. Now, if it gets so hot that you can't hold your hand there, then you pull your hand away. Otherwise, just stand there and hold your hand there as long as you can, okay? So we'll see how brave she is. Now, I find that some women are much stronger than men. So I had one man hold his hand we'll wait till we get to mine, but so far you're doing it is like hot, warm.
It's to the point where it's almost uncomfortably warm.
Okay, we're up to 30 seconds. We won't make you go past 40 seconds, how's that? Okay, 40 seconds, okay, thank you.
Okay.
So you could have held your hand there more if you needed to. It wasn't that hot,
No.
okay? So what we'll do is we'll turn this one off and we'll plug the Home Comfort infrared heater in. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll test my Home Comfort heater here. We'll start with the laser gun. Now, can you see from there or not? Sherry, to be fair, I hate to call on you again, but if I call on somebody else, we might get different results. So go ahead and do the exact same thing here. All right, go. Okay, now go ahead and touch it there now, girl. Come on.
It's hot.
It's hot.
I'm done. You're
done. Okay, we're up to 6 seconds on that one, so thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, thank you so much. So I remember I was watching on television one of these networks, the shopping networks, one of those things, And the guy's there with a laser gun like this, and he's going, look, it goes all the way up to 200 degrees. And the lady's, wow, 200 degrees. You know, and I'm in the living room watching this thinking, wow, 200 degrees? Mine's over 600 degrees, you know. So anyway, the home comfort heater makes the most heat out of every one we've tested. We've tested about 40 different brands, and we haven't found any that make as much heat as ours. So as you see on the signage here, that each of these are right around 200, most of them are less than 200 degrees is what they're going to produce, okay? Mine is over 600. Now there's two types of infrared. You have quartz infrared. Quartz is glass. Mine is quartz. Then you have PTC infrared. PTC stands for positive temperature coefficient. So it is infrared, but it's a different type of infrared technology. So all the ones up here that are 200 degrees, or actually less than 200 degrees is the heat coming out, they're all PTC. Most infrared heaters made today are PTC because they're cheaper to make. Now even out of quartz, there's different technology with quartz. There are some quartz heating elements will go up to 300 degrees, some go up to 400 degrees. I have one that went up to 500 degrees. None of them go over 600 degrees like mine do. And I've had engineers and HVAC, people who work for heating and cooling, come to some of my seminars, and they would say, all 1500 watt heaters make the same amount of heat. You 1500 watts of electricity, they all make the same amount of heat. And so I would always ask, is there an engineer or HVAC person in the audience? And when there is, I always had them come up. And I have them do the exact same test that Sherry did. And they'll see that my heater makes way more. And without exception, every time they said, I've learned something new today. It's sort of like the light bulb, okay? You can take an incandescent light bulb that's 100 watts, and 20 years ago, if someone would say, you know what, you only need to use 15 watts to make that same amount of electricity, 20 years ago, people wouldn't have believed that. It just is so crazy because we've always known you needed to use 100 watts to make that much electric. But now with LED lights, you only need 15 watts. So that's with the lighting industry. In the heating industry, it's the same thing. My heating elements is the newest technology in the infrared industry. And my heating elements make 2 times more heat than a whole bunch of other infrared heaters using the same amount of electricity, but mine make more heat. All right, if you are enjoying what you're watching now, I'd like you to click on the like button below. Click on the like button below. There's a button that says like. If you like it, click like right there. Thank you. Continue with the video. So in addition to making the most heat, I want it to be the safest. So some of the safety features that mine have, most do not have this feature. It's a special coating that you can actually touch the heater without burning yourself. You can't hold your hand there long, but you touch it and ow, it's hot, I pull my hand away. So if you have children or pets, they won't end up with blisters. Their fingers will get hot and they'll pull it away. But most of them do not have that safety touch grill like mine has. Another feature mine has is you set the temperature wherever you want, you press and hold the up and down arrow till it beeps. That locks it in place so the children can't mess with it. So to unlock that feature, you press and hold and it unlocks. So now if you and your spouse are having a bad day, don't tell them about this feature and set it really low and lock it and don't tell them that you did that. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to my wife, and you shouldn't do it to your spouse either. Another feature mine has, which they all have, and that is overheat sensors. Mine have 2. It has one in the heat chamber and one on the circuit board. So if it overheats for some reason, it will shut off. Another thing that I felt was really important, and that is that mine would be the easiest to service. Now, we've serviced a whole bunch of other brands in the past, and some of the wooden cabinets have 52 screws just to get to one heating element. With mine, just a couple screws, take each side off, you unplug the old heating element, throw it away, slide the new one in and plug it in, and you're done. It takes my service technicians literally 3 minutes from beginning to end to change a heating element in my heater. It takes 45 minutes to replace it in some of the other infrared heaters. Another issue is that you take the circuit board Most infrared heaters have two circuit boards. The rear circuit board is normally connected right behind the heat chamber. It's extremely difficult to get to, and that's normally the hardest part to replace within an infrared heater. With mine, I have mine rotated 90 degrees. You just take the left side panel off and everything is right there. To replace a circuit board, you simply unplug the wires and take the old one out, put the new one in, and plug the wires in. Actually, on the circuit board, I have it printed the colors of the wires. The green, yellow, red, blue, and black. Those color wires plug in to those circuits. It's so easy to replace. So mine is the easiest to service out of all the infrared heaters that we've ever done. Our return rate is 1%. 1 out of 100 get returned within the first year for not working. There's one company that now has filed for bankruptcy. One of the executives within the company, he and I became friends over the years, and I went up to him at a hardware show, and I went up to him, I said, you know, store owners are saying that that particular model you have out there has like a 50% failure rate. And he looks at me and he says, Jeff, that infrared heater has an 80% failure rate. So mine has a 1%. It's the lowest in the industry. The average failure rate for an infrared heater, I estimate, is somewhere between 12 to 15% fail within the first year. So it's built the strongest. I wanted my heater to be the easiest to operate. There are some infrared heaters up here. This one here has so many buttons. One of the service technicians and myself, we spent about 45 minutes to an hour trying to figure out how to operate the thing. It has, you have the heat controls, fan speed, an air purifier, and it had a humidifier built into it. And it had so many buttons that we couldn't figure out how to operate it. So I was determined to make mine the easiest to operate. It's a heater. So you have one button turning it on and off, and then you just have an arrow setting the thermostat. So setting whatever temperature you want up and down with the arrows. It's simply the easiest to operate. Most infrared heaters actually have a power switch in the back. Mine does not. That's a 2% failure rate just by having a power switch. So to make mine the best, some of the things I've done is I've actually taken some components out that other companies put in, and then I've added a couple features to mine that others don't have. For example, one feature that mine has that no other infrared heater has, it's a heating element indicator light. So this green light here, for example, it stays on green whenever it is plugged in. This green light shows you that you have electricity going to the heater. An infrared heater has anywhere from 2 to 8 heating elements. Mine has 4. If one blows out, it's hard to know that you have one bad heating element. But with mine, if one blows out, this green light will begin to flash. Mine is the only infrared heater in the industry that has a heating element indicator light. It lets you know when a heating element blows out that you have a bad one. This will begin to flash and let you know that. My heater also has memory technology. So if the electricity goes off in your home, of course it would turn any electric heater off. But once the electricity comes back on, mine's the only one with a digital display. Out of the ones we've tested, there might be one out there, but we haven't found one. It's the only one that automatically comes back on to the previously set temperature when the heater is restored. So you don't have to worry about your pipes freezing. In fact, we sell a lot of our heaters to people who just want to keep their basement warm enough that the pipes don't freeze. So what we've done is we've created the biggest temperature range in the industry. Ours goes all the way down to 40 degrees. And all the way up to 90 degrees. The reason I wanted my heater to do that is if you want to use my heater just to keep pipes from freezing, you want it to be on the cooler side. The thermostat probe on an infrared heater is in the back. So if your heater is sitting on the floor and it's a concrete floor, it's going to feel really cold. So it's actually going to be registering that it's cooler in the room than what it actually is. So some of these here only go down, this one here, the Mighty heater, only goes down to 64 degrees. That's the lowest it goes, to 64 degrees. So if you put that on a concrete floor in the wintertime, it won't shut off till it's about 74 degrees in your house. Alright, so I wanted mine to go all the way down to 40 degrees. That way you can use it just to keep pipes from freezing. The reason I have mine going up to 90 degrees is 2 reasons. There are actually still some hardware stores out there that don't have air conditioning. And if it's a really warm day and someone comes in and they want to see the heater work, and let's say it's 80 degrees inside the building and the heater only goes up to 80 degrees, it may not turn on, so the technician cannot see how it works. The other reason that I have it going up to 90 degrees is because if someone is bringing it into a service center and they have it sitting on their front seat of their car and that the heater is blowing on it, the thermostat probe gets so warm that when they take it in to the store or service center to get it fixed, it won't even turn on because it's warmer than what the temperature height is on the heater. How many square feet does an infrared heater heat? People ask me all the time, how many square feet does my home comfort infrared heater heat? Well, there's 4 different variables that will determine how many square feet any heater will heat. One is the ceiling height in your home. The second is the insulation value in your home. And the third is what is the temperature outside, how cold it is. And fourth is what temperature do you want to maintain inside your home. So when you look at those 4 variables, they're going to be different in every house. So it's hard to say, but on average, in the dead of winter, in the center of the country, on average in the dead of winter, mine will heat up to 1,000 square feet using no other heat source. In the spring and fall, it'll heat up to 2,000 square feet using no other heat source. I had one gentleman, he said he lived in a house that was 2,200 square feet and he was heating his entire house with just one of my infrared heaters. Now it had only gotten down to about 30 degrees outside and I don't know what temperature he was maintaining inside his house. So I just want to be fair here to say that you're going to need one for every 1,000 square feet in the dead of winter. My heater comes with a lifetime limited warranty. They used to come with a 3-year full warranty. And I was in a hardware store one day just observing customers. And I saw a customer go up to the heater section and they were reading the warranty. And they said, and they read mine, 3-year warranty, lifetime warranty. Well, I'm going to get the one that's lifetime. Well, the lifetime is a limited lifetime warranty. It doesn't cover everything for the life of the heater. Mine was a 3-year full warranty, which covered service and parts for 3 full years. So in seeing that, it's like, I think maybe I should change it. So I changed my warranty to a lifetime limited warranty. Parts are free for life, as long as you get your heater fixed at a service center. Service centers normally charge around $34.95. Some charge less and some charge more. But at our service center, the most it would cost to get your heater fixed is $34.95 and the parts are free. Now if you don't live near one of the service centers, we only have about 30 or so service centers across the country. So if you're not within driving distance of one, then what you can do is you can actually order the part. We have an area we can send you to on the internet to determine what part you need. And then you can buy the part right there off our website. And then we have a video showing you how to replace every component within the heater. So let's say the overheat sensor goes bad. There's a video that shows you how to do that. Or a thermostat probe goes bad, or one of the circuit boards go bad. Though mine is built the strongest and has the lowest failure rate in the industry, eventually something will break. And when it does, you just simply go to that area on the website, we can show you how to get there, and determine what part you need, order the part, and watch a video to fix it yourself. It's so easy to repair my heater. We ship all across the US and Canada, so it's important that my heater is easy to fix and is accessible to get the parts. So you have 2 main types of heat. Well, really, there are only 2 types of heat. You have combustion-based heat, and then you have non-combustion-based heat. Combustion-based heat is where you have an open flame or a burning coil. So it'd be like oil, propane, coal, wood, kerosene. They're all combustion-based heat sources. They take the moisture and the oxygen out of the air. The reason people get sick in the wintertime isn't because it's cold outside. Cold kills germs. The reason people get sick in the wintertime is because of poor air quality inside. So infrared is non-combustion based. It doesn't take the moisture and oxygen out of the air, so it's the safest form of heat there is. So if you suffer from allergies, asthma, COPD, arthritis, nosebleeds, dry itchy skin, then you probably have poor air quality in your house. So I would encourage you to switch over to infrared so that you don't have poor air quality. When I was a child, I would get nosebleeds all the time, almost once a day. My nose would just start bleeding, and we didn't know why, and the doctor surmised that because I was sleeping near a vent where dry air was blowing into my bedroom, that it was drying things out inside my nose, that was the cause. So we changed the heat, and sure enough, the nosebleed stopped. So it's interesting that good air quality is so important for our health. Now let's see if any of our guests have any questions that they would like. Are you okay? Or we can keep going, but is there something particular?
You want me to actually ask you a question?
Yeah, if you have one.
All you hear ever about, like with fires and stuff, is that you shouldn't leave these kind of things on when you're not home.
Right.
That's in my head, and it's like one of my biggest concerns.
That's a great question. Okay, portable heaters used to be one of the #1 causes of fires in America, and they were the old burning coil ones and so on, and even some of the ones that are out there now. You need to be careful. There's some that look like little radiators. I've had 2 customers come in and said they had those kinds, and they actually caught fire in their home. So you need to be careful when you're buying a portable heater. So my infrared heater is nothing more than 4 light bulbs that get really hot, and they have a fan blowing the heat off of the light bulbs. So what happens if the heater falls over? Well, nothing. It's just a light bulb. There's no upside down to a light bulb. There's no chemicals or fluids. There's nothing that can start a fire. And some of the portable space heaters do have chemicals in them and fluids, and you need to be careful. But mine, you can actually turn completely upside down, and it doesn't hurt anything. It's just light bulbs with the air blowing off of them. We've been heating our home with nothing but infrared since 2008. So we live in a 3,000 square foot home, and the home had an oil furnace in it, and we were heating with oil. And I thought, boy, we're spending so much money with oil. So I turned the oil furnace off, and I started heating with just my infrared heaters. And it was 3 of them, heating a 3,000 square foot home. And it cut our heating bill in half. And because they're the safest and the cheapest form of heat there is, we've been heating with nothing but infrared heaters since 2008. Now we've moved since then. We moved to another home. It's an old farmhouse, and that house is 202 years old. And so it's poorly insulated, as you can imagine, and we heat it with 4. We need 4 of my heaters to heat it there, but we maintain 72 degrees. So even if you live in a really old farmhouse that's poorly insulated, you can heat it entirely with my infrared heaters. I have no other heat source in my home, none. There was a customer that came in, a lady brought her heater in, and the whole front was melted, okay? And it was still working, but it was all melted really bad. And I said to her, well, somebody must have put something over that, maybe like to dry a coat or something, because we had just had a bunch of snow. And I'm thinking, kids came in, somebody put it over there to dry their coat off or something. And she said, no, it did not happen. I swear to you, it did not happen. Nobody put a coat over that heater. That's not what happened. It just melted. And I said, I'm sorry, lady, but there's no way that thing just melted on its own. And I was trying to be as nice as I could. So sure enough, she calls me back after she goes home, and she said, one of my kids confessed. They brought their coat in, put it and completely destroyed their coat. Well, the child realized that because their coat melted also, that they had to show it to mom that, hey, look, it really was me. But it didn't start a fire, because it can't start a fire. It's just a light bulb creating a bunch of heat. But you don't want to keep anything close to the front of it. I recommend at least 3 feet from the front of it, just to be safe. But you can put things on top of it. It doesn't get hot at all. It doesn't even get warm. You can put it right up against the furniture, like against the couch or something, just in front of it here. Make sure there's nothing there. You can actually put it all the way against a wall, because even if it's against the wall, the way it's designed, the airflow can actually go underneath of it and come up through the back. Just make sure you don't put it in front of curtains, because curtains could actually get sucked into the back of it. It's not going to start a fire, but it will hinder its performance. So just don't put it back up against curtains. On occasion, people will call and say, what do I need to do to maintain? Do I need to bring my heater in to have it serviced, to have it checked out or something? Because like with an oil furnace or a natural gas furnace on, you need to get the chimney cleaned out, you need to get it serviced, and there's expense to that. But with mine, there is no expense to it. There's a filter on the back you don't need to take the filter off. Keep the filter there, and just once, it depends on whether you have pets or not. If you have pets or somebody smokes in your home, then you want to vacuum that off about every 2 weeks. But if you have a spick and span clean house like mine, we probably clean ours every 2 months because my wife is a clean freak, and that's a good thing. But she keeps her house very clean, so we don't need to do it very often. But I encourage you at least once a month, take a vacuum to it and vacuum that off. And again, if it's a more dusty home with maybe a lot of kids, or you live on a farm, then I would encourage you to maybe vacuum it even once a week. Other than that, there really is no other service to be done. So on occasion, people will bring their heater into the service center, and we will take it apart and we'll vacuum it out and check it out, but there isn't anything else really we can do other than that. That was a great question. Long answer. Do you have any other thoughts? Or
No, but that's really helpful to know that.
that was a good question. Now, how can one infrared heater that uses 1500 watts of electric make more heat than another heater that uses 1500 watts of electric? So people ask, it's called BTUs. BTU stands for British Thermal Unit. So how many BTUs does a heater make? And almost every 1500 watt heater is rated at 5200 BTUs. BTUs aren't calculated by the heat output. BTUs are calculated by electric consumption. To calculate BTUs, you take 1 watt of electric times 3.41214. So all 1500 watt heaters are the exact same BTUs because they use the same amount of electricity. What they really should do is take the temperature of the air coming out times what's called CFM, cubic feet per minute. What's the volume of air coming out and what's the temperature of the air coming out? That's really how infrared heaters should be calculated. All 1500 watt heaters are the same BTUs because they use the same amount of electricity. Hey, thank you for watching. If you have any comments or something we may have missed, maybe you have a question or something, leave it there in the comments section and we'll be sure to answer it for you.